10 huge EastEnders spoilers for next week. What's coming up in Walford? 1. Bianca is kicked out. Bianca's podcast causes trouble when Mo and Kim bring true crime fans to Sonia's house. Sonia angrily confronts them and vents to Bex, unaware that one guest is unusually interested in their home. Later, Bianca is forced to return to her sister's house after Alfie and Kat kick her out of their flat. Her return doesn't last for long though, as Sonia insists that she leave her property. 2. Lily acts up. As Stacey struggles with her grief, Jean finds it difficult to keep Lily on the straight and narrow. Subsequently, the troubled teen decides to smoke weed. However, Lily finds herself in a pickle when Avani requests payment for the drugs. With no cash to offer, Lily makes a mischievous decision that comes back to bite her. 3. Sonia gets a visitor. After Bex encourages her mum to take pity on Bianca, Sonia comes to her sister's rescue when she is surrounded by some true crime fans and suffers a panic attack. This leads Sonia and Bianca to make amends, and they celebrate by heading to Harry's barn for a drink. But Bianca grows scared that someone is watching them, so she takes matters into her own hands and corners the mystery man in the playground, where his identity is revealed. The stranger refuses to listen to Bianca and heads to number 25 to speak to Sonia. Who is this man and what does he want? 4. Zach grasps an opportunity. In the cafe, Zach sidles up to Teddy and suggests that he could train Barney in the gym. With no clue that Zach is his son's biological father, Teddy takes him up on the offer. Later in the week, Zach kickstarts his training regime and accompanies Barney on a run. Will the father and son build a bond? 5. Harvey makes a discovery. Even though Harvey might be embroiled in a steamy affair, the local cabbie still cares for Jean. With that in mind, Harvey heads to the B.A. Pete van to persuade his girlfriend to sort things out with Lily. While there, the couple make a shocking discovery. Meanwhile, Bex finds out about Lily's sneaky actions, and after Lily goes back to the Slater house, Jean expresses her upset. Lily runs off but later returns, where Jean scolds her. However, when Lily tearfully confesses, her gran offers support. The question remains, can Lily move on from this? 6. Nigel hides the truth. In Walford, Nigel suffers another memory lapse as he confuses the pharmacy with the video shop that he used to work at. Luckily, Jean is close by and escorts him back to number 5, where Phil comes up with a cover story to protect his friend's dignity. However, the kind gesture fails to convince Jean, and she attempts to reach out to him. Nigel dismisses her concerns, but will Jean suspect his diagnosis? 7. Avani panics. Amy and Avani struggle to rebuild their friendship, but they eventually agree to put their past behind them. While Priya is pleased with her daughter's progress, Avani secretly picks up weed from Declan to take to Amy's party. She changes her mind after speaking to Amy and puts the drugs in the bin, but things take a dark turn when Declan shows up. Avani initially pretends that Declan is her friend, but she then admits the truth to Amy, in the hope that she'll call her dad to sort things out. Will Jack come to the rescue? 8. Sonia thinks about her future. Sonia discovers a hidden truth during a meeting with a mystery man and leans on Bianca for support. Needing space, she sends Bianca and Bex away, and they update Jack at Harry's barn. Jack later offers Sonia advice as she faces a major life decision. As Sonia thinks about saying goodbye to Walford, Kat and Freddie rally round to support Bianca. When Sonia finds out through Jean and Harvey that Stacey isn't coping, she heads round to see her friend, and the pair have a heart-to-heart. Will this chat help Sonia to make her decision? 9. Avani gets advice. Priya and Ravi confront Jack about Avani's treatment at the police station, demanding action. Jack advises that Avani file a formal complaint, but when Priya suggests it, Avani is shocked and storms off. Avani tries to avoid her mum after this confrontation and hides in the laundrette to get some alone time. Yolande notices her distress and gives her a safe space to talk. Will Avani feel able to open up? 10. Nicola takes revenge. On Nicola's return to the square after her holiday in Ibiza, she isn't pleased to discover that Zach has been getting close to his son by training Barney. At work, she demands that he stops what he is doing, but Zach refuses to stay away. Nicola then decides to meddle in their budding relationship and recruits Tommy and Joel to make fun of Barney during one of his training sessions. Barney mistakenly believes that Zach is responsible for his ordeal and runs out, but Zach is shocked and rushes after him. Has Nicola's plan worked? EastEnders confirms who set fire to Martin's stall in early iPlayer release. Stacey's suspicions are wrong. Tensions flared between Stacey and Ruby after Martin's emotional funeral this week, and Ruby found out the truth about her partner's love confession shortly before his death. Viewers saw Ruby standing by Martin's stall drinking that evening. Then Stacey later discovered that the Walford heirloom had been set on fire. In today's episode, Stacey observed the crime scene the next morning, devastated that the floral tributes and photos of Martin had gone up in smoke with the stall. As the Slaters reeled from this latest tragedy, Stacey and Lily came to blows yet again. Stacey made it clear that she was going to find out who destroyed the memorial. Meanwhile, Zach told Ruby about Martin's stall, but he and Vicky were left suspicious about her reaction to the news. Stacey pleaded with Jack for the police to take action, and he urged her not to get involved. But this didn't last long, as Priya told Stacey that someone told her Ruby was seen lighting a match. Ruby confronted Priya about her gossip, who refused to reveal who told her. But Avani looked guilty, suggesting that it could be her who had spread the rumour. Stacey ran with her theory and shouted to the square that Ruby torched the stall. The pair entered into another screaming match about Martin, and it ended with Ruby slapping Stacey. Zach later encouraged Ruby to make amends with Stacey to allow them both to move on, and she decided to take her advice. Jack sent Stacey some photos of the burned-out stall, showing a bottle which contained an accelerant that was used to feed the flames. As Ruby called round and continued to plead her innocence, Stacey looked at the pictures and spotted Lily's water bottle, revealing the shocking truth that it was actually her daughter who caused the fire. Will Lily face consequences for her actions? EastEnders legend takes swipe at soap awards after shock snub. The awards ceremony is returning this year after a break from our screens. A few days ago, the long lists were revealed, which features stars from the likes of Corrie, EastEnders, Hollyoaks and Emmerdale, all in with a chance of taking home a shiny gong. While some of the winners are decided by a panel of judges, fans have the opportunity to vote for Best British Soap, Villain of the Year, Best Comedy Performance and Best Leading Performance. It's the latter category that has sparked a reaction from Heather Trott star Cheryl, as Phil Mitchell actor Steve is not in the nominees list. As a result, Cheryl took to Instagram to wonder why Steve had not been considered. His Walford character was at the centre of a mental health storyline for the majority of last year and the start of 2025, which saw him hallucinate characters from his past and attempt to end his life. Taking to Instagram, Cheryl wondered, seriously? Are the soap awards having a laugh? Steve McFadden has not even been put on the long list, let alone the short list, let alone winning it. Sorry, are people seeing what I'm seeing when I'm watching EastEnders? Everybody is doing a fantastic job, but why has Steve McFadden been overlooked for what is a crucial storyline and is essential for the general public to be watching by an actor who is playing it phenomenally? I don't get it. I'm sorry, Soap Awards, you've done a real boo-boo here, mate, she added. Followers of the soap star were quick to respond in agreement with her, but some pointed out that Steve has potentially been considered for another award, or his mental health storyline will be noted for the ceremony next year. Ever thought he might be getting a special award? One user of Instagram said. Another wondered, maybe there's a cut-off point for the storyline, so he'll get it next year. Cheryl uploaded another video to her social media page shortly after this, highlighting that she understands there is a time frame for the nominations, but believes it should be made clearer for the public. The event, hosted by presenter Jane McDonald, will take place on Saturday, May 31st at London's Hackney Empire and will be broadcast on ITV1 in June. EastEnders involves 3 past characters' intense Bianca story. Bianca's phone was blowing up tonight. Fans know that Bianca agreed to do a true crime podcast talking about her kidnap ordeal at the hands of Rice after being offered a generous fee by newcomer Charlotte. Bianca has kept her podcast appearance secret from Sonia, knowing that her sister is in a fragile state following Martin Fowler's death. On tonight's episode, Sonia and Bianca were back in the square following Martin's funeral. While alone, Bianca got a text from her daughter Tiffany reading, "OMG, what's this?" with a link to the podcast episode. Bianca clicked on the link and realised the episode, titled The Coma Killer, was now live on Charlotte's podcast feed. She then rushed over to Sonia and took her phone from her, saying she would check on Elaine to take the pressure off. At the cafe, Bianca saw a message from Morgan about the podcast while Tiffany had tried to ring her. Kat came over to ask her why she wasn't at Martin's wake, leading Bianca to share that the podcast was now out and she's scared that Sonia will hear about it. The pair then listened to a bit of the episode where Bianca described how Sonia had got together with Rice. Freddie came in and said clips of Bianca on the podcast were all over social media and she'd soon be famous. While Bianca was upset, Freddie tried to convince her that she had every right to speak about her trauma and deal with it however she wanted to. However, he did add that she must come clean to Sonia. Bianca went back to the wake to talk to Sonia, but found her drunk and in the midst of a sing-along honouring Martin. Kat and Freddie then appeared and told Bianca this wasn't an appropriate time to tell Sonia, and instead she should take her home. At home, a drunk Sonia was taken to bed by Bex, but before she went upstairs, she asked Bianca for her phone back, with Bianca lying and saying she'd put it on charge for her. With Sonia gone, Bianca saw that she had new messages from Whitney and Robbie, who had both heard the podcast. Bianca deleted both messages, and one Tiffany had sent to Sonia to keep her from finding out for a little longer. EastEnders Nigel to gain unexpected new ally in tragic dementia story, Will He Let Her In? Classic character Nigel made a surprise return to Walford last year, appearing in the Christmas Eve episode after 26 years away. Viewers soon learned that Nigel had been diagnosed with young-onset dementia. He revealed that he had left his wife Julie as he didn't want her to see him deteriorate. Nigel has already been showing signs of the memory loss disease, from forgetting food in the oven to misremembering who people are. Currently, only Phil, Grant, Yolande and Linda are aware of his diagnosis. In next week's scenes, Nigel's dementia causes him to confuse the pharmacy for the old video shop he used to work in. Jean steps in after noticing the error and takes him home to number 55. Though Phil covers to protect Nigel, it's clear Jean isn't convinced. Jean attempts to reach out to Nigel, but he continues to remain quiet about his dementia diagnosis and dismisses her concerns. Will he eventually let her in? This isn't the first time Phil has stepped in to protect his friend. Recent episodes saw Nigel calling the police, Sharon and Denise, as he feared Phil had gone missing. When Phil arrived home safe, he explained that he was visiting his mum's grave and had told Nigel where he was going. Realising that Nigel had forgotten, Phil quickly covered for him in front of Sharon and Denise.